Everyone's been saying Rainbow Six Siege has been dying for years, like almost the entirety of its lifespan. But for the first time in its entire lifespan, I actually feel like Siege might be dying. Jynxzi, Siege's unicorn biggest streamer ever to hit the platforms of Siege, has moved on to Clash Royale. The new season that they just dropped had like no content. Is that it? And with beloved esports figures being laid off from the staff, you can't help but feel like Ubisoft has almost given up on Siege. And I'm sure the community has felt that too, because a certain phrase has almost rebirthed itself after 5 years. Hashtag Save Siege has been spreading like wildfire over Siege social media posts. So today in this video, I'm gonna tell you everything that's wrong with Siege and how I would fix it, because I still think that it could be the greatest FPS ever made. People often want to blame the devs when anything's going wrong with their video game. Why'd you make this change? Why aren't you making this change? They're a very easy target to point fingers at. But to be completely real with you guys, the real problem is very, very far from the devs. The real problem is all the way at the very top of Ubisoft, the executives that oversee the financial decisions with the parent company itself. Because I know content's been low, but the devs can't make more content and better updates if they don't get funded to do it. We can't ban enough cheaters if the anti-cheat team is one of the most relatively small out of any big game title in the world. I've met the devs and they really care about the game. They've been listening to a lot of our changes, and a lot of the things that are bad just happen because they're planned out 3 years in advance, like Blackbeard being added when shields were the most broken ever. That's just real unlucky timing, I'm gonna be real. But even though they might not be perfect, the devs care, the players care, the pros care. Everyone really wants this game to succeed, even if we do wrong things with it. The issue is the ones that seemingly don't care are at the top of the ladder calling all the shots. And it seems like they're more focused on min-maxing and squeezing as much money as water out of a rock out of Siege as they can than actually investing into the game. But that's easy for you to say. I mean, anyone can just say just invest more money. How do you know they have the financial means to invest more? Well, Ubisoft tried to make a game called XDefiant, which was at the time dubbed to be a god killer because it wanted to compete with the slightly lower and disenchanted player base of COD. And what happened to that game? It's dead. Shut down. Hyperscape, a game that wanted to compete against the other Battle Royales during the Battle Royale era, also shut down and dead. Roller Champions, a game that wanted to compete with Rocket League as a, I don't know, soccer type game, I don't know really. Shut down and dead. Skull and Bones, which is supposed to be the world's first quadruple A game, meant to compete against, I guess, Sea of Thieves or some bullshit, I don't know. It's dead, it's gone, no one plays that game. Everyone hates it. April 2025, Ubisoft is reportedly developing a new Battle Royale game that is heavily inspired by Apex Legends. Ubisoft execs believe that Apex's player count falling could give them an opportunity to develop a similar game. Hey Ubisoft, you have repeatedly tried and failed to create a game and a space that competes against big other live service, massively multiplayer games over and over and over again. But do you know what game you have that is so unique, that has a massive player count on console and PC that no one can compete with, that it used to be a thriving tier 1 esport?
Rainbow Six Siege.
This game literally used to be in the same category as League of Legends, CSGO, and Dota. Why are you trying to make a new esports title if you already had one? A game that started off dead, clawed itself back into relevancy in 2018. Have you ever seen that, by the way? Have you ever seen a game start off dead on release? It's horrible, and it clawed itself back into relevancy, fell off, clawed itself back to another new peak player count in 2020, again, fell off again, clawed itself back to another peak player count in 2021, and then again in 2024 when Jynxzi came around. Not to mention, this is just Steam charts. There's also all the Ubisoft Connect players playing, which is probably more than the Steam players on PC, and not to mention the overwhelmingly massive console population, which is probably quadruple, if not quintuple the size of this. I would not be surprised to see millions of players playing Siege. This is your title right here that you need to focus on. This is your successful live service game. You just can't help but feel like they don't even know what a Siege is. They just look at the numbers and call it a day. I saw your 2024 financial report, Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed made you $4 billion. Rainbow Six Siege made you $3.5 billion. Made you $2 billion. These are your top profiting games. Why the are you trying to go up against giants like COD or Apex Legends or Sea of Thieves or Rocket League when you have a unique game that no one can compete with? It's right there. And at the end of the day, it just feels like this is a company that doesn't really see the games as games, but rather as numbers for them to just keep maximizing profit. Riot Games made a show about League of Legends called Arcane. If you don't live in Iraq, you know what Arcane is. It's one of the most successful and award-winning game adaptation show ever. And it created songs that had 400 million streams on Spotify. It created some of the biggest songs ever. Arcane lost money, by the way. Arcane went negative, by the way. But you want to know what a Riot exec said to that? People think we make things like Arcane to sell skins, when in reality, we sell skins to make things like Arcane. Arcane crushed for players, and so it crushed for us. I know League of Legends have their problems with Riot, but it feels like the top dogs at Riot at least really care about their games and really want to push out something really good. At least it feels like they know what League of Legends is. I'm gonna be real. Sometimes when I look at Ubisoft, it just feels like they want to reduce spending, and keep maximizing profit and just ride this wave of success all the way until the game fades into obscurity. It feels like sometimes they don't even know anything about Rainbow Six Siege or what it is. They just look at it like it's a number and call it a day. And the reason I know that's not a good thing is because I was personally in that scenario. If I thought that way, I literally wouldn't have a YouTube channel. There was a fork roads in my career at one point with content. My editor today, Dapper, is quite expensive because he's good, but I was waiting to sign as a content creator so an org could pay me so that I could pay that money to Dapper. No one was willing to take the risk, so I said, I went negative thousands of dollars to pay Dapper, and our first two videos together are our two most viewed videos. Literally 2 million views combined. These first two videos together, that blew me up, that gave me my entire career today. When I won the man.
YouTube. Nothing good to watch. Nothing good to listen to. It's really me, I guess.
get a new boat, the only thing that matters is does the boat catch fish? And this trick proves that it does do just that. So this is every fisherman's dream right here. Pomfret, wahoo, tuna, triple tail, mahi, snake mackerel, beers, alfonsino, 2 giant swordfish. Yes, new species unlocked! We're going 200 miles offshore to go sword fishing to catch fish over 250 pounds, and we win like 70 grand or something. Insane, just fish. But we gotta figure out where we're going, dude.
Put that bad boy on here.
There we go. Now we're actually fishing. You only have 10 blunts for the next 30 hours. How many do you need? We've already calculated them up.
Well, 1 hour, maybe, you know, if you catch nice fish, maybe you want to light 2 up.
You're about to be so grumpy.
Don't eat Mexican food for lunch and then Indian food for dinner. That's how you fucking make a bomb. Go, 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 go. Drive, drive, drive. Yeah, we're tight. I saw that pile on. Oh, it's a nice fish, bro. I think it's sort of a full drag already, but it could be a small one. I'm looking. I see color. Looks like a shark. Mako, bro. No way. Oh, Mako. Should I call the shark guy himself?
Yo, what's a Mako shark on you there?
I call it. You're the shark whisperer, aren't you? His teeth, bro.
Get the harpoon, Ready? He's,
Cut him off. Why would you cut him off?
Why? What am I gonna do with him?
Get a nice shot of the teeth for an Instagram reel.
I'm not putting my hand near that thing's mouth. Yeah, there we go, Tim. First Alfonsino, my boy. Oh, they can't believe it. All right, chat. We caught an Alfonpino. Go ahead and give it a sip. The elusive Alfonsino. I can't believe the Alfonsino.
Ain't the fucking blue flat. Boom, there he is.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
You got it. Oh yeah, we're on.
He's running fast, dude.
Yeah.
He's running away. This is the battle of endurance and consistency, you know?
Ready? Yeah. He ain't that small. For sure, biggest one I ever seen in my life, too.
Not a bad one, dude.
Nice.
This is it right here, Tim. It's not bad, dude. They're so strong, these things. Holy boys, we fucking doubled up the whole time, jerking each other off. That's why I got tangled. He's probably hooked an hour ago.
Come on, he's jumping. Coming up. He's way out there. Keep going tight. He was stalling it a lot harder than the other one.
What the fuck's going on, dude? I see him down there. It's just crazy how like a similar class fish can just be a completely different bite. One can just be like chill, and then one can just be mean. This guy was like chill until he got in the boat, but he was really mean. What a nice guy. Real nice though. Oh, he's not bad. Got him. I've learned. Gotten better, more experience.
Alright, we gotta take some pictures. Yeah.
There's a bigger one down there. We have to get him.
Yo, we got.
Doubled up, dude.
We got 2 at once. Pick one up. Let's see.
Pick him up, pick it up, come on.
It's heavy, bro. They're both about 100 pounds.
Drop it back and back the boat up. Let him meet it, but slack that line up. Alright, give it like 30 seconds and then crank it hard and then see it down. Real hard, keep going. Go. Go, you got him. He's there. You got him.
Here we go. That's how we do it right there, motherfucker. Yeah. black tip H merch that says real, all over the shirt.
Fentanyl. Man.
This is one useless fact from every main mission in GTA 5. Let's go. In the prologue, Michael's phone is made by a company called Cell Tower, which, from the looks of the phone, it may be a knockoff of Nokia. The company even still has a headquarters that you can find in Los Santos, despite none of the characters using their phones anymore. In Franklin and Lamar, it's technically considered canon that Franklin chooses the Obey 9F, because that is the car he's seen driving in the trailer. When going to repossess the motorcycle for Simeon in Repossession, Franklin and Lamar will encounter a drunk dude that calls them Zaffo agents. In case you aren't aware, Lord Zaffo is the unseen alien leader mentioned a few times throughout the game. He's referenced a couple times by Ron on his radio show,
at the alien Lord Zaffo, and how his reign on Earth led to the development of human agriculture and at food additives.
But the same person they run into in Repossession can also be found later in the mission Eye in the Sky, talking about Lord Zaffo once again.
Zaffo! Zaffo!
In early development, Franklin was supposed to climb the vines on the side of Michael's house in order to break in during the mission Complications. At some point in development, this was later changed to him climbing on top of his truck first. However, an animation for this cut feature can still be found. After Amanda's car breaks down chasing the boat in Father-Son, there is a scripted prison bus that drives by every time you play this mission. This is weird because for some reason, this is the only prison bus that can ever be found driving on the road, and you never end up needing one for the campaign. So why they decided to make this a scripted event isn't really known. In the mission Marriage Counseling, after Michael and Franklin tear down the house, the tennis coach will call Michael and say,
Mr. DeSanta, what the hell? That's not my house!
Bullshit. And while the house they pulled down wasn't actually the tennis coach's, it is most likely that the house across the street is, as you can find a bunch of tennis equipment scattered around the property. When Michael and Jimmy head to the beach to go for a bike ride during the mission Daddy's Little Girl, the guy that Michael rents bikes from is wearing a shirt that has John Marston from Red Dead Redemption on it. There's a scripted scene where Chop will, get freaky with another dog during the mission Chop, but as messed up as it might be, there's actually a speedrun strat where you can just shoot the dog before Chop gets there to completely skip this sequence. In the mission Friend Request, the small cutscene outside Lester's house when Michael gives him the finger can actually be seen on Lester's promotional art for GTA 5. In the mission The Long Stretch, originally it was supposed to be Franklin who took out Dee and not Stretch.
Hey, I hated that they took me from killing dude. Remember, I killed him at first. Then they gave him the kill. I blew it off that first. Yeah, he did.
This was changed at some point, however, most likely as a reason for Lamar to have some sort of trust in Stretch, but this ends up going wrong as Lamar ends up getting set up by him in various ways throughout the campaign. In the mission Casing the Jewel Store, Lester not only vaguely mentions Nico Bellic, but also vaguely mentions working with our online character as well.
Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That group in the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City. Yeah, he went quiet.
Alright. Well, we're gonna need a crew. You got any contacts in LS or not?
I've been working with someone, but they're too unpredictable. I'll have to reach out to some other guys.
After the jewel store job, Vangelico's stock will plummet, which doesn't really make any sense, assuming that this is a chain of jewelry stores and not a standalone business. When we first meet Trevor and he ends up killing Johnny Klebitz in Mr. Phillips, Johnny's jacket says Vice President on it. This is a massive oversight from Rockstar because Johnny became the actual president of the Lost MC during the Lost and Damned DLC for GTA 4. In the beginning cutscene of the mission Trevor Phillips Industries, Trevor stops a bar fight and smashes the head of one of the two dudes who are fighting. The dude who ends up winning the fight, however, is actually Joseph from the Civil Border Patrol missions. After Nervous Ron, Bleeder Post will report that the shooting took place at Mackenzie Airfield when it actually took place at Sandy Shores Airfield. Even though you clearly just blew up the O'Neill's farm in the mission Crystal Maze, if you return after the mission, the house will still be completely intact as if the mission never took place. In the mission Friends Reunited, the scene where Trevor stops on the side of the road to overlook Los Santos while thinking about Michael was actually nominated for Most Memorable Moment in the 2013 Good Game Awards. In the mission Fame or Shame, right before Trevor arrives for the first time, Michael is talking to the yoga instructor when he says,
"Nah, man, fuck this."
Michael!
This line was actually improvised by Ned Luke when filming and was a friendly jab towards his actual wife, who is indeed a yoga instructor.
My wife's a yoga instructor. I think my favorite line was when Baby Hen says, "Namaste," and I say, "Yeah, now I'm gonna go fuck yourself." Not because I want to say that to my wife, because I don't. I love my wife, she's unbelievable, but that just...
In the mission Dead Man Walking, no matter what outfit you have on when you start the mission, Michael will always wake up wearing the suit pants that he would be wearing if you had never changed the outfit. In the mission Three's Company, there's a glitch while rappelling as Michael where if you keep firing the AP pistol, you can infinitely fly backwards and even through the building. By the Book, which is the mission where you torture Mr. K, was seen as so controversial and grotesque that it was banned from Japanese versions of the game. At the start of the mission Did Somebody Say Yoga, the show Michael is watching at the beginning of the mission was originally from LA Noire. When leaving Grove Street after the drug deal gone wrong in Hood Safari, you can find three dudes riding bikes away from the shooting, which is a clear reference to the intro mission of GTA San Andreas. In the mission Scouting the Port, at the end of the mission, Trevor can actually call the hospital to find out that Lester is there for spinal problems, which is why he doesn't help out with the heist.
The Cofield Center for Spinal Research at Mount Zona.
I'm looking for Lester Crest.
Yeah, I've got his phone. Mr. Crest is taking a nap right now. He's going through a bit of a rough patch. If you'd like to know our visiting hours...
No. That's fine. He ain't much use to me anyway.
During the Merryweather heist, it's believed that the freighter option of this heist is considered canon as well, as it can be seen in the trailer. In the mission Blitzplay, the slow motion scene of Franklin ramming into the armored truck with a tow truck is an obvious nod to the movie Heat, where a very similar sequence occurs. When you first show up to the club to fight Rocco and bring him back to the studio in the mission Mr. Richards, two workers can be heard talking about how Rocco would burn the club down to collect insurance money. This is a callback to how Rocco wanted to do the same for Hercules and Masonette 9 in the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC. In the mission I Fought the Law, in early development, Trevor was supposed to toss one of the drivers off the bridge instead of just leaving them on the side of the road. This was eventually changed sometime during development, however, an in-game bleat describing this can still be found after the mission. At the beginning of Eye in the Sky, Trevor gets mad at the LSPD pilot for racially profiling Franklin after he gets scanned from the helicopter.
You arrested my African-American friend for a minor infraction? The LSPD disgusts me! It's not me. I mean, there's some bad apples in the department, but any accusation of a racist culture, you wanna bullshit me? You can bullshit the freeway!
If you then switch to Trevor right as the mission finishes, he can be seen piloting the chopper now and says,
"I hope it was a soft landing!"
While the scene of Trevor shoving the pilot out of the chopper can't actually be seen in-game, it can be seen in the trailer. Caída Libre means free fall in Spanish, which obviously refers to the plane falling from the sky. But Freefall was also a mission in GTA San Andreas that featured a very similar plane and sequence to the one in GTA 5. If you explore around the movie studio a little bit before stealing